This is back in 2012, so you have Kohee, Nabi, and Shabadil, who unfortunately we don't actually know what happened to him. So Afghan Army, National Director of Security, Afghan Police.
This is Jayson Harpster. He's a US veteran based in Washington, and for the past 6 months, he's been working day and night to bring 2 of his Afghan friends to safety.
They were my partner in everything I did over there, but in the eyes of the US government, that counts for nothing.
After the Taliban took over Afghanistan in August 2021, Harpster raised tens of thousands of dollars for his old allies Nabi and Kohee, whose intelligence efforts during the war helped American troops find and arrest members of the Taliban. Harpster helped his friends escape Kabul as fighters hunted them down during the chaotic US withdrawal.
It was just horrifying, like getting those initial messages, please help us. We have no money, we have nowhere to go. How are we gonna get out? We can't go on the road, we can't go out, there's Taliban everywhere. And that's when it started to hit me just how terrible everything was.
Fearing for their lives, they crossed the border into neighbouring Pakistan, where they now live undocumented and in constant fear of being sent back.
They're one phone call away, they're one interaction with the police away from being arrested, getting deported, and then the Taliban doing whatever they do.
And Harpster's efforts are not only focused on his friends, they have families too. Nabi, who worked for the National Directorate of Security, Afghanistan's National Intelligence and Security Service, has a wife, 4 sons, and a daughter. Kohee was a member of the Afghan Armed Forces. He has a wife who is Hazara, an ethnic group routinely persecuted by the Taliban. He has 2 children from a previous marriage and 2 more from his current, one of whom is still a toddler. They're also expecting a baby.
One thing I learned that from the Kohee family is that, where they lived in Kabul, that was the city they lived in, most of the people in their neighborhood were pro-Taliban Afghans. And they would shout death threats at them. They would say, don't worry, we'll take care of your daughter. So his daughter is a teenager, she's unmarried. Take care of means they'll marry her off to a Taliban fighter and be raped. I mean, that is the sort of vile hatred that the Taliban tapped into, and that's what's waiting for them if they get deported back to Afghanistan.
But life in Pakistan is challenging. With no legal status in the country, Nabi and Kohee's families are mostly stuck indoors, only leaving for urgent medical needs.
They're in a very small apartment, 13 people, soon to be 14. Can barely go outside, kids can't go to school, no one can work, pretty much have to get everything for them. And it's scary. They know that there could be a knock at the door at any time. There has been a knock at the door a couple times. There's been neighbors pounding on the door. Who are you? Why are you here? Our Pakistani friends have basically said, look, they don't blend in.
Families have filed for humanitarian parole with the US Citizen and Immigration Services at the cost of $7,000. But with an unprecedented number of applications sent in since the fall of Kabul, the process is slow, and the Biden administration has already begun issuing denials to Afghans seeking to emigrate to the US.
Under any fair reading of the rules, they qualify for humanitarian parole to come to the United States. And if they were to come here, they would be legally able to file for asylum, which is a pathway to permanent status here in the United States. Facts are clear as day, but it's all adjudicated on a case-by-case basis by personnel in CIS. So it's really luck of the draw. That's kind of where quietly, in our name as the body politic of America, our system just absolutely is turning away people who deserve to come here, who would help America by coming here, and are going to die because we don't let them in. Hopefully, our pleas, our evidence, all the veterans vouching for them, all the evidence we've amassed of all the threat to their lives, how they have no other options, all of those things speak to why they meet the criteria for humanitarian parole.
In the meantime, it's a nerve-wracking waiting game. But for this US veteran, who was awarded a Bronze Star for his service in Afghanistan, the worst outcomes don't bear thinking about.
These are amazing people who would make amazing Americans. I mean, they are people who, they just want to work, provide for their families, get a good education for their kids, and, secure freedom for their family from, imminent death at the hands of the Taliban. These are the kind of people that a healthy country would be clamoring to get. They would be a credit to any community that was lucky enough to get them. If we're not successful at getting the system to save them, I don't know. It's just that's going to be on my conscience forever.